Let's go to Poland now, where thousands of people have been taking part in an anti-government rally in Warsaw. They're protesting against a new law critics say could be used to target opposition politicians in an election year. Well, here's Donald Tusk speaking at that rally as it started.
The first step to victory is to recognise our strength. We're here today so that Poland, Europe and the world see how strong we are, how many of us are ready, just like back then, 30, 40 years ago, to fight again for a democratic and free Poland, for our rights. This voice will not be stopped. That giant has woken up. I'm proud that I can be here and say, we will win.
So that was the Polish politician Donald Tusk there. Our Europe regional editor Danny Eberhard joins us now from our newsroom. Thanks for joining us. In terms of this new law, what does it actually mean? Can you explain to us what this will mean for future elections and opposition leaders?
Well, all this, Vishala, needs to be set against the context that obviously we're in an election campaign now. There's going to be an election in October or November of this year. And you heard there Donald Tusk trying to galvanise supporters. He is basically trying to harness the spirit of 1989. Today is the anniversary of the first democratic elections in the transition away from communist rule. So that's the backdrop. The law itself has helped to bring people to the streets. It is setting up a commission that will look in from 2007 onwards what politicians may have paid undue influence to Moscow. It's going to examine things like energy deals, for example, and all this is set against the backdrop of the war in Ukraine, but opposition politicians are suspicious of the timing. They say what it actually is doing is providing a lever to bash the opposition politicians and potentially ban them from office. It's no coincidence, it seems, that the Commission starts looking at the period from 2007, which is when Donald Tusk himself was Prime Minister of Poland before he became President of the European Council later on. And he is expected to stand for Prime Minister later against the current governing Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki of the Law and Justice Party.
So Danny, we were just looking at pictures actually in Warsaw. I think roughly about 500,000 people have been there protesting with banners, flags and listening to Donald Tusk. Will this protest have any weight, do you think?
It will certainly be, it's a very useful rallying cry for Donald Tusk and the opposition. The Law and Justice Party is still running in the lead in polls. At the moment, it's got more than a third of support, according to the latest opinion polls. But the Civic Platform, which is the platform that Donald Tusk heads, is second. The thinking from the opposition side is that the governing party is worried that it will not be able to secure a majority at these elections, and that's why it's looking for ways of targeting opposition politicians. Now, the President of Poland has, despite the fact that he signed this commission into law, has now proposed amending the law, and he says that, for example, MPs wouldn't sit on the commission as is currently the case, and that the facility that the Commission has currently to effectively ban politicians from office would be removed. But the opposition says that's not enough, because basically even if you have a commission that can tarnish the name of politicians with no access to proper judicial review before the elections, it will still have a very large electoral effect.
OK, Danny, thank you very much for that update.